Moore,
Here.
O'Kane,
Here.
Shaner, Scott,
Here.
Waters.
Here. Please stand for a moment of silent prayer followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Jennifer McCabe.
Thank you.
I have a proclamation that reads, whereas brain injury is a serious public health epidemic affecting at least 13.5 million Americans. And whereas an estimated 2.5 million children and adults in the U.S. sustain a traumatic brain injury, and another 3.5 million individuals sustain an acquired brain injury from non-traumatic causes each year, and currently more than 6 million children and adults in the U.S. live with lifelong disability as a result of traumatic brain injury. Whereas many of our soldiers have reported symptoms related to concussion and brain injury, including slow thinking, memory loss, sleep disturbance, attention and concentration deficits, and brain injury, which is a leading cause of disability among soldiers returning to their communities. And whereas a concussion is also a serious brain injury that can occur without loss of consciousness, and it can occur in any sport, and recognition and proper management of concussions when they first occur can help prevent further injury and even death, and as many as 3.8 million sports and recreation-related concussions occur in the United States each year. Now, therefore, I, Robert E. Scott, Mayor of the City of Sioux City, Iowa, on behalf of City Council, do hereby proclaim March 2023 as National Brain Injury Awareness Month in Sioux City, Iowa, and encourage all citizens to enhance the public awareness of traumatic brain injury and salute the mission of the Brain Injury Association of Iowa. I'd like to say a few words and thank you for all the good work you do.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Opportunities Unlimited has been supporting Siouxlanders for 30 years. Our specialty is providing residential and rehabilitative services to individuals impacted by brain injury. But in addition to that, we have a number of community-based services that supports individuals with brain injuries and other special needs out in the community in their homes. So all said, we serve well over 150 people each year. As persons served, staff, and advocates of OU, we want to bring awareness to National Brain Injury Awareness Month, and as a member of the Brain Injury Alliance of Iowa, help make a difference in brain injury prevention. As stated, brain injury affects millions of Americans each year. It is the leading cause of death and disability in children and young adults. In Iowa alone, there's over 100,000 Iowans who live with long-term disability as a result of their brain injury. The number one cause of TBI injury is due to falls, and 25% are a result of a motor vehicle accident. Opportunities Unlimited is one of just a very few ACBIS sites in the state, in the entire country. What that means is we have 20% of our workforce is trained as certified brain injury specialists. We have over 35 who are certified in this program, plus we have 2 that are certified trainers. To advocate and help with brain injury prevention, we have a program called Got a Brain, Get a Helmet. This is some curriculum that has been designed by our organization and shared with second grade students along the Siouxland community. We follow up with an assembly, and we just, really kind of hit on some of the key points with these children, and we always have some helmets available for some of the students. In the past few years, we've been fortunate enough to have had a local grant, which has allowed us to purchase actually a helmet for every second grader. And so last year alone, we gave out over 1,300 helmets. We've also partnered with our Sioux City Police Department and our local Dairy Queen for the last 7 or 8 years with a program called You've Been Ticketed. So as much as we rely on community support, we're proud of the good work that we do. We also try to give back to the community in various ways. As part of our residential and rehab program, we have 8 homes that are licensed as intermediate care facilities, and we have another home that is licensed as a community-based neurobehavioral rehabilitative service. In fact, we're just one of 5 organizations in the state of Iowa who are certified to provide this level of care. And as I mentioned, we have a number of other programs too. So thank you for recognizing March as Brain Injury Awareness Month. We are dedicated and love the work that we do, and are glad that we're able to make an impact on the lives of those in Sioux City. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jennifer.
We'll move to the consent agenda today, which is items 2 through 11. Consider them to pass unanimously unless a separate roll call vote's asked for by the council member. You can speak on any item on the agenda as I read it. Please come up and state your name and address for the record, or you can come up at the end on an item that you want to talk about that's not on the agenda. I'll move the consent agenda.
Second.
2 is reading of the city council minutes of February 21st and 27th. 3 is a motion adopting the public library's new strategic plan.
Mayor,
Yes.
I'd like to make a couple of comments to Helen Rigdon, our library director. This is a very solid strategic plan,
Thank you.
and I appreciate that you spent the time that you did, as well as the trustees, to put it together. I like the focus areas of 1, 2, and 3, and I just want to tell you what jumped out at me that I'm really glad it's part of the strategic plan. Under focus area 1, the literacy, continue and increase the outreach for children. That is so important, and I'm glad, and you've always recognized that, but I'm really glad to see it in print. And then continue creating adult programming is also important in a strategic plan. In the focus area 2, the inclusion, create a partnership to enhance teen programming. Very, very important, critical part.
That's one area I really want to focus on.
Yes, oh, good for you. And I was going to ask you just to explain this briefly to me. American Sign Language Summer Programming, has that been an ongoing?
No, it's something we were thinking about exploring. We've had a lot of inquiries lately about learning American Sign Language. So we thought about maybe bringing in a program, not this summer, but probably the next summer, to maybe start teaching children that.
Okay, that's great. And then the focus area 3, the sustainability, complete reorganization project is going to be undertaken.
Yeah, we're working on it.
You're working on it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good luck on that.
Okay.
But no, I just wanted to point out that it's a very solid strategic plan, and thank you for putting that together.
Thank you. I couldn't have done it without my staff or the trustees or the city council, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Helen.
Number 4 is a resolution adopting amendment number 1 to the bicycle facility study. 5 is a resolution scheduling a hearing regarding amendment number 1 to the annual action plan for the Sioux City Consortium.
Mayor,
Yes.
could I ask a question back on number 4?
Yep.
The Sioux City Bike Facility Study, Chris, and it's just the way I probably read the homework, but it said the city prefers the single multi-use trail facility over sidewalks on each side of the Gordon Drive Viaduct, but the amendment is just on one side, correct?
Correct. Chris Madsen, city planner. The original proposal from the Iowa DOT is 2 5-foot sidewalks on either side of the viaduct. With this proposal and the city's recommendation would be 1 trail, ideally on the south side, that would be approximately 15 feet wide.
15 feet wide.
Correct, because of maintenance issues.
Okay, I just
Wider.
thank you for clearing that up for me. On the north side, there would not be a sidewalk or any kind of a pedestrian walkway on
Correct.
the north side of the
approved our
viaduct.
recommendation. Yep, and we wanted on the south side because that would give connectivity down Cunningham,
Cunningham Drive.
Chautauqua, and the riverfront.
One of the big things that came up was it'd make it easier to clear snow, right?
Correct.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Mayor.
6 is a resolution authorizing the police department to submit a grant application with the Iowa Homeland Security and Emergency Management for an armored rescue vehicle for SWAT.
I had some questions about that, Chief.
Rex Mueller, Police Department, yes.
Chief, I had a citizen call me about this item, just wanted to talk through and wanted to voice some concerns. and it just at least gave me pause to think about the long-term use of this. And I guess some of the questions he was asking, and some of them are his questions and some are just mine, but can you talk to me a little bit about where we've utilized a vehicle like this? I know that we're replacing one right now. It's a different unit, but can you talk to me a little bit about where we utilize that and how often we have used that?
Absolutely. Not often, but what we should realize is that nothing other than the MRAP that we currently have, which is actually a surplus military truck, nothing that we have is bulletproof. We don't have armored doors on our squad cars. We have nothing that can stop bullets. So in the instances of barricaded gunmen, or God forbid we ever have an active shooter in this town, we would need a resource that would allow us to, and that's why we call it a rescue vehicle, get folks out of harm's way, evacuate a neighborhood. Now, the vehicle itself has only been deployed once or twice a year, the vehicle that we do have, but it was not purpose-built for what we use it for. It simply has armor. We got it free from the government. And so with this Homeland Security grant, we thought it appropriate to try and get access to something that would be purpose-built and allow us to use that to get citizens out of harm's way. Now, the vehicle that we do have has been used on multiple occasions in jurisdictions other than ours. As somebody who has that equipment, we share it with other agencies. We provide it to them, and it's been used with great effect to protect the occupants of that vehicle, to serve as basically a bullet trap to stop bullets. If you park it in front of a residence where somebody's armed and threatening to use firearms, it's just a vehicle to convey either officers or citizens from point A to point B. And it's ballistically armored. And so that's what we're looking for, is something that's purpose-built for what we would potentially use it for. Now, it's one of those things that you hope you never need it, but in the past we have needed and have utilized with great effect the surplus vehicle that we do have now, which is a 6x6 MRAP, or Cayman is what they call it. Mm-hmm. But again, that's really kind of ill-suited for what we're looking for, which is why we'd like to replace it with something that's purpose-built for law enforcement use.
And then, is there ongoing costs associated with this, type of vehicle? I tried reading some articles of other city councils or other cities that are utilizing these, and that was one of the concerns was ongoing costs. Are you aware of any of their thoughts?
Well, for something that doesn't get used that often, ongoing maintenance would be the normal preventative maintenance. Most of these vehicles, these purpose-built armored vehicles, have a commercial-grade chassis, and then the manufacturer then converts that to what they need for it. So if you'd imagine maybe a heavy-duty truck chassis underneath that and the associated engines, so it wouldn't be any more probably troublesome or more costly than the vehicle that we do have serving that function.
The last question that I have is just really, are there any other jurisdictions that have these type of vehicles already that we could utilize or partner with, or is ours the only one and then we need to replace this to utilize it? I didn't know if Woodbury County was utilizing one or if they use ours. What is that relationship?
Absolutely. Woodbury has, and there are ones in the region, but the question is, can they get it to you? Is it available when you need it? Now, we see, as the biggest agency in the area, we see a lot of benefit to providing this to other agencies. And part of any piece of equipment that we have is that we loan that to nearby agencies in the event of things happening. When South Sioux was dealing with the grain bin that was about to fall over, we loaned them equipment. We loaned them our mobile command. That's what what the biggest agency in the area should do. Is support our fellow law enforcement agencies in the area. And that's something that would be done with this. If it was needed by somebody else, we would make it available. But if right now we don't have one necessarily readily available, the county does not have one, we would definitely make that easily available to them for training, for any other purpose. You want these to get used when they're needed. And are they needed that often? Absolutely not, and we're thankful for that. But on the occasion that you do need something, you have a certain event in the community where you want those resources and you need those resources, it's awfully good to at least try to get this grant to see if we can maybe be outfitted with one. There's no guarantees with any grants. We're just applying and requesting your permission to apply for it. And we'll see what happens in the process.
And I guess that's it for my questions. I guess the thought that this gentleman had, and it gave me pause as well just thinking about it, is, Chief, I would commend you and your department for their efforts with community policing. I think we do a good job. I think you really emphasize the need to go out into the community and have those community policing efforts to build that bridge of trust with the communities that you'll be interacting with. The worry that I have is just sometimes these types of vehicles being brought into situations, or even the purchase of, or the discussion surrounding, is very militaristic in the optics of things, the discussion of that. And I think that sometimes it gets away, or it thwarts some of that effort. And I think you're seeing that, or at least I'm hearing, rumors and discussions about that. I just wondered what your thoughts were. Obviously, in that type of a situation, you want a vehicle that can withstand fire, which is exactly why it would be built with militaristic capability. But
Sure.
Can you address some of that, please?
Absolutely, and that's part of the reasons for seeking this, because what we have is a military vehicle. It's simply a convoy truck, but it is not well suited. It's extremely heavy. It wasn't built for what we're using it for, but we have one. We have had one for 8 years, and that is a military vehicle. This would not be a military vehicle. Like I said, these Lenco Bearcats are built on a commercial-grade truck chassis. It's for one purpose. It doesn't have mounted weapons. It's nothing like that. It is to provide protection to the people inside that. Like I said, it's called a rescue vehicle for a reason. It's meant to be able to carry people from point A to point B safely. And again, it would be what would be the only thing in our fleet that we would have that would be armored. And if given the grant, we would release that military vehicle back to the government, or release it to another agency via agreement from the federal government, so that we didn't have that in our inventory. So were we able to get it, we'd switch one for the other.
So do you have to give it back if you ever want to get rid of it?
There's stipulations to how you do that. It's still their vehicle.
It's coming from the military.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, I don't think we should deceive. It's a military vehicle. You
Yeah.
can paint it any way you want to, but it is.
No, what we have right now is the.
No, I'm
payment.
talking the one you're buying. Is it coming as military surplus?
No, it is purpose-built. It's purpose-built by a company for law enforcement use. They put, like I said, they start with a commercial-grade chassis, and then they build these vehicles up to simply be an armored truck. So it's not for the military. It's purpose-built for law enforcement, and that's why we're going through this company. Again, with no guarantees that the grant will come our way. We think it's the Department of Homeland Security has funds available. We will, with your permission, we'd make the case to see if we could get that purpose-built police vehicle to replace the surplus military vehicle that's currently being used.
I appreciate it, Chief. That's all I had.
Resolution approving temporarily closing various streets in the downtown area March 13th and 14th for the Symphony Link Up Kids Concert at the Orpheum Theater. 8 is a resolution adopting plans and specs for the annual sidewalk ramp project. 9 is a resolution authorizing an early release of funds to W.A. Klinger for the Chris Larson Park Riverfront Development Project. Matt, I've asked you a couple questions. I got one more. I mean, are we letting more than the retainage go? We're not, are we?
That's Salvatore, Parks and Recreation Director. This is for retainage only. It's about half of the retainage. So they wouldn't get the rest until the project has been completed. Completion date's May 15, 2023.
For phase one?
For phase 1. Phase 2 is completely different. They haven't requested anything on phase 2 because that's similar timeline.
That's amazing, because around here, we normally hold the retainages for about 2 years longer than we're supposed to. So this is kind of unique.
It's allowable under the code, that they can apply and provide notice to all subcontractors.
We're also supposed to pay interest when we hold more than the retainage, too. But we haven't figured that out yet either, and I'm hoping someday a contractor will sue us on that so that we can determine how lawful we are, but okay, thank you. 10 are actions relating to agreements and contracts. A is a resolution approving a settlement agreement and release regarding personal injury claims. 9 is a resolution approving a contract with HCI Construction for the Convention Center Meeting Rooms Update Project. 11 are applications for beer and liquor license. See the list. Do you have any questions, come forward. Appointment to boards and commissions and committees. 12 is a motion. Oh, we got to vote on that, sorry. Passes 4-0. 12 is a motion appointing Jamie Bell to the Art Center Board of Trustees. I'll move that.
Second.
Passes 4-0. 13 is a motion appointing Jerry Walker to the Senior Advisory Committee. I'll move that.
Second.
Passes 4-0. 14 is a hearing resolution instituting proceedings for the issuance of not to exceed $1 million in GO bonds. I'll move that.
Second.
Hearing's now open. Anyone to be heard? Seeing none, the hearing is closed. Passes 4-0. 15 is a hearing resolution instituting proceedings for the issuance of not to exceed 1 million GO bonds. I'll move it.
Second.
Public hearing is now open. Anyone to be heard? Seeing none, the hearing is closed. Passes 4-0. 16 is a hearing and resolution instituting proceedings for the issuance of not to exceed 1 million in GO bonds. I'll move that.
Second.
Hearing's now open. Anyone to be heard? Seeing none, the hearing is closed. Passes 4-0. 17 is a hearing and resolution instituting proceedings for the issuance of not to exceed $1 million in GO bonds. I'll move it.
Second.
Hearing's now open. Anyone to be heard? Seeing none, the hearing is closed. Passes 4-0. 18. Yeah, I'm on 18. Yeah, 18 is a hearing resolution instituting proceedings for the issuance of not to exceed 1 million in GO bonds. I'll move it.
Second.
Hearing's now open. Anyone to be heard? Seeing none, the hearing is closed. Passes 4-0. 19 is a hearing and resolution instituting proceedings for the issuance of not to exceed $19.5 million worth of GO bonds. I'll move.
Second.
Hearing's now open. Anyone to be heard? Seeing none, the hearing is closed. Passes 4-0. 20 is a resolution authorizing the issuance of $19,760,000 worth of GO bonds and levying a tax for the payment. I'll move that.
Second.
Passes 4-0. Citizen concerns. Anyone want to be heard? Please come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, please. Seeing none. Matthew?
Go right down the list. So first off, in terms of the militarization of our police, I think my my time being able to complete the Citizens Academy taught me a lot about how our police department operates. And I would encourage anybody that feels like there's that threat or there's a fear that our police might be militarized, I would strongly encourage them to go through it. I think the fact that we've used it, you said about twice in a year. Is that fairly accurate?
Yeah, he said once or twice.
Once or twice in a year?
Yeah, it's not deployed often.
I think that really speaks volumes. And when I went through Citizens Academy, what I heard from SWAT officers was, it's nice to know that if we're in a sticky situation, we have something that can stop bullets. Seeing some of the weapons that have been confiscated, I won't go into details, but it's a very scary situation that they are often put into. And I think having something that can shield them from that level of violence is a necessity, in my opinion. And it's good to know that this vehicle, because I was under the impression that this was a military vehicle as well. It's good to know that this is more purpose-built for what we would use it for. And I feel a lot safer knowing that our officers are taken care of. I don't think that we're running any risk of it being used improperly. There's no weapons mounted onto it. It is purely there for protection, and it just gives me a little bit of confidence because we have officers out there that can. Just my thoughts on that one. A couple of events on Wednesday, for those that are interested, Neighborhood Network and the city staff meeting is coming up noon on Wednesday. Daddy-daughter date night is Wednesday at 4:30, so that is the place to be. And then Sunday is Faces of Siouxland, the multicultural fair at the convention center. And that is everything that I have.
What time is that?
That is noon to 4
On Saturday?
on Sunday.
Sunday. Thank you. No, I was just going to bring up a couple things, but to answer your question or what you addressed, Matthew, I completely agree. I did Citizens Academy early on in my time here with the city, and I think that it is such a beneficial program to be a part of and learn a little bit more about police protocol and things like that. I was simply sharing a citizens' concerns and some of their calls and wanted to at least address those questions. And I, like you, really appreciate moving away from a military use vehicle to something that's a little more purposeful. So I appreciated the clarification, Chief. I hope you know I'm just always trying to get information, and I'm sorry I didn't reach out to you before the council meeting, but appreciate those answers. The only other thing that I would bring up and share is I would just encourage people to, as the snow melts, to continue to look around and see where they can pick up. Maybe it's their yard or neighborhood or the gutters or the drainage ways, because it is one of those things that as the snow melts, we start to see more and more litter. I know that Litter Dash is going to be coming up next month, and so I'm looking forward to that. So hopefully we can make an effort to keep our community clean and really get it, do a little spring cleaning inside and outside, if you will. Yeah, exactly, and make sure that we're ready for a RAGBRAI. I agree. Then the last thing I would say is NAIA basketball kicks off. So that first round play is tomorrow. I believe is the first game at noon, I believe. So first game's at noon, and so I'm look forward to all the action and can't wait to host them here in Sioux City. And so we'll see them when round of 32 gets narrowed down to 16. We'll see them right here. I would encourage anyone to go down to Tyson, catch some of the action. Make sure to share with them, your favorite places to maybe go eat or drink or do anything like that, so that they can make sure to have a good time. And we welcome all the visitors that are coming from across the country here to Sioux City. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of things. I'd ask the council to think about the Siouxland Chamber trip to D.C. mid-May. For those that have an interest, we probably would want to let the city manager know that sooner rather than later. I may have a conflict with that date, but I've gone several times over the years, so it's a very worthwhile trip. Secondly, and I didn't really get to get this in with the mayor reading the proclamation, but this community's really, really fortunate to have opportunities unlimited in the community. And they do a world of good, and they have grown to be a very strong facility and service a lot of people and do good work. So I want to just remind everyone that they're here in Sioux City, and they're just a great facility to have. That's all I have, Mayor.
I think I am going to the steak dinner this year, Bob, so you might put my name.
Okay.
I said mid-May, isn't that about like May 17th or something?
16th or 17th.
16th or 17th, so if you haven't gone, you might,
I'll have Gabby send out all the information.
okay, thank you, Bob.
I checked with her today, and the only one she had heard back from was the mayor.
Move we adjourn.
Second.
O'Kane.
Aye.
Scott. Waters.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye. There was a correct